In a brand new project, we're going to create a MIDI track, just one. All the others here, by pressing function and the track, they can be muted. So here you can see just one track, the first one. By pressing MIDI, we now get the master screen for the MIDI, the first page. We press playback, do a double click, and we can set the channel. By using the A control, change the value. I've got it on channel 1. I've set the note, again in the top page, I've set C3, and note 2 and note 3 and note 4 I've left blank. I've put grid mode on, which is the red record button here. By pressing and holding any one of the trig keys in the bottom row, labelled 1 to 16, we can set the note values. In this part of the video you can see trig 1. And when I do that, we can see the keyboard, which you can see here. Now you can see the keyboard in the display. Here it's showing +4 and +7 above the root note, which in this case is C major, which in integer values is the first note that you see up here. The velocity I've set here, and I've set the length of int, and then using the D knob and the E knob, I can change the values, as you can see here. Now in integer notation, 4 and 7 give me the C major chord that you can see here. And if you look, if I adjust knob D, you can see the value changing, and on the keyboard you can see the note. Now when that's done, if you release it, you've set the first trig, and I've done the same for a whole sequence of chords based on C3. So here we've got 037, which is the C minor, and you can see here C minor. Now I'm pressing the scale because I've set the scale of 64. And if you look now, we've got 4, 7, 11, which represents the major 7th. The next trig is 3, 7, 10, which is the minor 7th. 3, 6, which is the diminished, and 4, 8, which is the augmented, and then the dominant 4, 7, 10, and then the inversion -8, -5. And note here it's C4 because the inversion is the higher root note. We also need to set the scale so that we can have different scale lengths for different tracks. To do this, we press function and bank. And now we use the cursor keys to select per track and enter once it's selected, and then press exit. Now I'm pressing function and scale set up so that you can see what I've done here. I've set the master to 256 at a multiplier of 1, and I've set the track 1 MIDI at 64 over 64 at a quarter on the multiplier. So that means that the master will play at 4 times the rate of track 1. That allows us to play long chords and record them. We can go to Function Project, Control, Memory, and here you can see that I've set the reserve length to 32 seconds. If you look here, if you press the right arrow key, the length of seconds goes up. And you can see here the number of steps. And I've set 256. So that now will match the recorders. So if I bring the recorder up by pressing function setup, you can see 32 seconds and 256 steps, which will give us the whole range of those 8 chords. Grid mode is on, and we can see here in the corner that the orange light's flashing, which means if I press it, you can see now that it's a MIDI part and we're recording what's coming in on A, B. We could bring in C and D, but in this case we're not. And you can see everything's set up here, it's highlighted. Now all I need to do is press enter to set the arm, and then we can trigger the recording. And we can see here that it's functioning and recording, and we can see where we are here. And because it's a recording trigger, it will stop on its own, even though the sequencer will keep playing. And now, if I take the shortcut and press the track and bank, I can save the sample, and here I'm going to press function clear. I've already created the name that I copied before, so if I do function paste, you can see that I've got the root of the name that I want. Now if I press enter, I'm going to give it the name of the patch, which is A121. So there I know it's the Ultranova, it's a pad, it's a chain 1, which is my sequence of chords, and the patch number. Now if I press enter, it's saved the sample, press exit, and I'm back here again. Now if I press enter, now I'm ready for the next patch.